So I'm giving myself 1 year to become a full-time artist while working a full-time job, a part-time job, and being a full-time parent. But here's the plan. Welcome back to my channel of Be The Expression. If you are new here, my name is Brianna. I am a mixed media artist based out of Virginia. So if you did watch my last video, you heard me talking about my aspirations on wanting to become a full-time artist. Well, those were words. We need to put it into action if we're going to make it happen. So I'm giving myself 365 days or 1 year to make it work. Now, this is not some elaborate get rich quick kind of scheme or nothing like that. What it really is allowing myself to really put the pedal to the metal and see what I could really do when I put forth the effort. This go round is endurance over mood. I don't have to like it. I need to get it done. I have a lot of dreams and aspirations, and there was a time in my life where I was really close. The last time I tried to pursue an art career was back in 2022. I launched my website, I launched a store, I had prints, stickers, the whole nine for what you can do to start up an art career. In 2021, I was featured in an exhibition for the Trap Music Museum. Amazing experience. Um, I could talk more about that maybe in another video another time, but that really opened my eyes to the world that an artist could live in. I think what happened around that time, I was young. I mean, I'm still young, right? But I was pretty young then. I was very distracted. I was in grad school. I was trying to live life. I wasn't really focused on the art career, and I lost my momentum. Um, a lot of great things happened that year in 21. Like I was featured in a museum. I was featured in a digital magazine for artists, Black artists specifically. And it was such an amazing experience. And I just kind of let things, you know, and I vow to never let that happen again. My life kind of turned upside down mid 2022, and I'm literally getting myself back up. If you're a parent, you understand. If you have gone through any type of hardship, I'm sure you understand, whether it's financial or school or work. Sometimes when you're creative, those things take the energy out of that and it distracts you. So I'm blessed to say I'm in a position now in my life to where a lot of things are more stable, which means mentally I'm stable and I can focus and put more energy into this thing that I say I care about. So let's get into it. So in this video, I'm going to go over my goals, the 6 steps needed to achieve those goals, my timeline, and accountability. Emphasis on accountability. So for my goals of becoming a full-time artist, I really want to have, my vision is to have this hybrid fashion of doing exhibitions, being a gallery artist, as well as being a selling artist or commercially selling my work, and having like a best of both worlds kind of thing. I think it's in this time period, I think the opportunities are so endless on both routes that why not take advantage of trying to pursue both? Essentially, I've done it before. Whether it was consistent or not doesn't matter because I did do it. And I think that's whatever, why no, I don't think. I know that's what I want my life to look like in the long run. So that's my initial goal. My second goal, I would like to expand my art making space. Right now, I'm sharing space with my bedroom, which is perfectly okay. Like, I have a desk, I have easels, I have places to put my materials. Super blessed in that way. I am also looking forward to having a extra space to where I can work bigger, have natural lighting, ideally be near some water, a lake or river, whatever, to kind of inspire that more creative art making. I love the water. I love being by the water. There's a lot of blues in my artwork. I don't know if that's similar. It probably has some sort of relatability in some way, as we can kind of talk about later as well. So I definitely would like to expand my space, and I'm super looking forward to doing that by being consistent. Finances. So at this time, most of my goals ideally are measurable, right? Like, so even for the space, I would like to have it within a year. That's ideal. Finances, I don't quite have a measurable goal yet. I do know that I want sufficiency and to be stable. What I would like is if all of my expenses were covered by art, that would be great. And also if it would cover, when I say travel, I think about being able to, I want to go to Chicago at some point this year. That will be really amazing. I'm probably going to make that happen regardless, but it would be great if art paid for that. You know what I mean? Like places that inspire me, places that I've always wanted to go or return to. I went to Chicago in like 20, I don't want to tell my age, but I think I was like 15 or 16. It was like a band trip and it was the best trip to date. I've always wanted to go back, especially as an adult. So, thinking about things like that, when I think about what art could do for me on that end, outside of the benefit of just making it, right? But if it's able to pay for my bills and pay for travel, and then I still choose to happen to work other jobs, cool. One day I won't have to do that at all, and art will just be my life, and that's the dream. So, that's the current financial goal. Number four, once again, not as measurable. I just kind of put grow an audience, right? Like right now, I mean, at the point of making this video, I think I have 25 subscribers. Shout out to y'all. Love y'all. Y'all are OGs. I wish there was a way to know who all of you are. But I think growing an audience is important, right? I think having people who believe in the work that you put out, who believe in you, the vision, and also who benefit from your artwork. I'm a full believer. Like I used to grow up like I never want to sell my artwork. I just think it needs to be out there. Like I just need witnesses to my work. And I still have that in me. I think if we weren't in the type of society we were in, I still would feel that and believe that. Um, so I think it's just great to be able to have people around for the journey. If you stick around, and I hope you do, you'll be able to see this video a year from now and be like, wow, look how far Brianna has come. Look at the things she's overcome, she's gone through. Look at the things she's accomplished. And I hope that inspires you, like another artist or another person pursuing any type of dream, that with dedication and hard work, you can make it. And you can also learn from things that will help you make it, even if it's not in your timeline. So I really want to grow the audience in that way. I'm very like, depending on who you ask, I'm very shy. I can be very outspoken. I can have a lot of personality. I have to be super comfortable for that. Like even doing this is new for me. Um, and I like it. I like that it's pushing me to do something different. So I'm already loving the journey, and I just hope that people love it too, and it inspires them to be better versions and great versions of themselves. My last goal. This one's kind of split in two. I want to be able to attend at least one local art show and or be in at least one exhibition.
Whoa.
Big dreams. I know, big dreams. But I think I have this mindset that I've done it before and I can do it again. The formula is probably different. The system is probably different. My talent level, well, not even talent levels, my skill level will be different. There are skills that I've lost along the way that I have to regain. There are skills that I've bettered along the way that is going to be even greater by the time I think about doing that again. So I really want to push for that. I really want that to be a good goal that I have. Each milestone that I reach, y'all will know about and you will celebrate it with me. And I'm super excited. So, those are my goals that I'm working towards. Let's talk about the 6 steps that I need to do to get to those goals. Step one is identifying my voice. My artwork has always been centered around mental health, emotions. As I told you guys before, I am a mental health professional. I'm a board certified art therapist. I'm not really going to be into too much of the therapy route on this channel. However, a lot of that shows up in my work. A lot of it shows up in my personality, and it's not something that I want to have to separate. Like it's a part of who I am. So I think I'm at this stage in my art making life, I'm deciding what is it that I'm trying to say. And I could be saying a whole bunch of different things. That's the way my brain works too, right? And I envision having a lot of different series, a lot of different themes. I really want to encompass the voices of not just my own, but of the people I've witnessed around me, just like on an everyday basis, friends, family, different interpretations, the view of what's going on in the world, and put my voice on it. But with all voices, right, there's a consistent measure. In the past, my consistency has been Rubik's Cube figures or figurines, almost like puppet like, and that's been really significant in my past. I'll probably do a video on those previous artworks at another time. But sorry, establishing what that voice is going to look like. Is it going to have similar themes? Are they going to have different variations? Really just solidifying that. So that's my first step. Step number 2 is make the art. Make the art. I think it's very difficult to do any of what I'm trying to do if there's no new art being made. I have so many different medium, kind of like what I talked about in the first video on oil pastels, pencil, color pencil, illustration, sculpting. I have so many different interests, so many things I like to do and want to do, and I need to make the art. Practicing every day is not negotiable. Like I have to be dedicating. My goal is to do 8 hours a week minimum. That's minimum. So it's at least 2 hours, 4 days out the week. Usually I go past that, but that's the minimum, right? So practicing every day. I have so many project ideas, and I think a lot of artists, including myself, have the barrier of, oh, I don't have the skill set for this yet. I can't make this project. I understand and I feel that way, but I also think that that is a barrier and sometimes an excuse for me to procrastinate. So there are, like this piece right here, I've been one I that original sketch, I'll probably put it up here. That original sketch was from like 2020, maybe 2021, and I was always afraid to paint it. I don't know why. I was just like, it's an idea. Maybe I'll pursue it, maybe I won't, and now I have a whole series in mind and a concept in mind that goes with it. And I could have already done that. So making the art not negotiable every day. Even if I start a project and I don't like it, it's okay to not like it. You see where your deficits are, you see where you want your art to grow, and then you keep working and you do something else to make it better. It's very important to me too that I schedule what I call dark studio days. So those are days where I don't record, where I have no cameras, right? No phones at all. The phone's in another room, and I just make art. I think it's very important, even in this new day and age of like content creation and trying to make money, all these things. But making art is sacred and it's intimate. And it's very important to have moments where it's just you and your art. So I'm gonna have those days built in, a couple days out the week, dark studio days, no phone will be found, and I'm looking forward to that too. So that's step 2. Step number 3, skill development. As I said, I have a lot of growth and work to do. So I have made my own like personal curriculum. I can share that with you guys in another video as well. But I want to learn from the masters. Essentially, I'm relearning everything I've already learned. I got my bachelor's in art at Winston-Salem State University, and I remember art history. And I want to relearn it, refresh my skills, especially if I'm talking about wanting to be in an exhibition space, a gallery space. I have to be able to speak the language, and I also have to be able to be inspired by them to want to make artwork um, that may one day be alongside theirs. So, and that's important to me too. So, the artists that I'll be focusing on are painters and sculptors, just because those are the two main mediums that I use and are passionate about. So, I have a personal curriculum for that. For skill development, I also want to do more art challenges, like 100 heads. Like I think I tried it during COVID. I think I stopped at like 30. Um, Hands, right? Color theory, like literally anatomy, especially for sculpting, right? Like I'm like reteaching myself anatomy right now. So there's a lot of lessons that I need. I want to be able to attend live classes or real time classes. My very first sculpture that I made, the one that was actually featured in the Trap Music Museum, that sculpture is gone. Like it's sold because I'm not gonna say because it was so good. That was the best sculpture I've ever made. It was my first one. That should tell you a lot. So I really needed that guidance. I think we have to learn how to follow. We have to learn how to learn how to learn. We have to be able to learn openly. and be receptive to what people are teaching if we want to be able to put our own spin on it. So I'm super excited about finding classes. I'm fairly new to the area that I'm in right now in Virginia. But I've been actively looking, and surprisingly, some of the classes I'm looking for are pretty scarce. So um, if you know of certain websites, I know about like Skillshare and of course YouTube, right? But if there are things that you guys know of regarding sculpting, let me know. Put me on. And lastly, for skill development, eventually I do want to find a kiln. This kind of aligns with me wanting to find my own studio as well. Um, it's a whole process, right? Right now I'm using air dry clay just because it's accessible, excuse me. It's affordable, it's easy to work with. It allows me the practice that I'm looking for. I know there are various things that you can do with air dry clay to kind of make it more permanent or make it more um, what's the word, like cast, right? Different cast and resin and all those things. But I would like to be around a kiln, have access to a kiln one day, and actually use like earthenware clay, like red to terracotta clay. Like I want to be able to use that one day. So again, so that's step number 3. Step number 4 is perfect my art business logistics. I have to redo everything. My website, she's cute, she's fun. I have to redo it. Um, my logo is different. My brand name is different. I'm no longer Charmer Arts. It's still a part of me, but now it's Be the Expression, and I just have to redo it all. I have to relist products. I have new products in mind that I want to add to the website. I need to decide on a new website platform. Right now I'm using Big Cartel, and I love it. It's simple, it's easy. It was like a great starter. It was so easy to see my sales. It was so easy to add listings, all the things, like very, very beginner friendly. But I think I want to transition to something else. And I think I want to have 2 websites. So one on Etsy and then one on my own. So like Squarespace or something like that. Um, and I have my reasons for that. And I can talk about that once I get ready to relaunch the website. Be on the lookout for that. But I really just need to redo it all. And if I'm wanting to be in these spaces, like I have to get new business cards. Like people are influenced by what they see, right? Naturally. So I think if I want it to align with who I am now, adjustments have to be made. So that's step number 4, upgrading the art business. Step number 5 is consistency with social media presence. This is what I failed at the last time. I just kind of got over it and I just stopped posting. I stopped making the art, but I also stopped posting. So that'll be a really big challenge for me in a good way. I'm kind of looking forward to it. The way I'm thinking about it now is not necessarily content creation, but more so this is a documentary, right? This is a documentation of my journey as an artist. This is something for me to look back on, my kid to look back on, people who know me personally to be like, wow, this is what Brianna's doing. And support me emotionally in that way. I don't really need the sales to feel that. So I think looking at it from that perspective makes me more motivated and more excited to do it because it's like, oh, I'm just talking to myself and you all happen to be here and I'm glad that you're here with me. So, my goal right now is to post weekly on YouTube for the next 12 weeks. Well, technically the next 10. This is week number 2. I want to see how sustainable it is to do this weekly or post on YouTube specifically weekly with having a full time job, a part time job, and being a full time mom. So far, so good. I mean, it's only week 2. I don't know how demanding the weeks will be. It's been a hard week this week. My kiddo is actually sick, and we've been home all week, and it's been a lot with trying to work. And if you know, then you know. So, and the fact that I'm able to still kind of carve out time for this, and I'm not like defeated or I'm tired for sure, but my drive to want to do this is greater than that, and that makes me like excited. So I really want to post here weekly for the next 12 weeks. Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube shorts, I kind of want to keep consistent for the sake of exposure and just staying or keeping up with these posts and having them all aligned. Those posts will be a minimum of 3 times a week, but probably shooting for 4. That schedule will look like Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So those posts will be focusing more on like shorts on like the skill developments that I was talking about. So learning from the masters, learning color theory, anatomy, the projects I'm working on, a day in the life, growing an audience, right? And building evidence for myself, like, oh, you actually have been working, which we'll also get to in the accountability section. So that's skill or step number 5. And last but not least, step number 6 is exposure. You may be thinking, well, Brianna, is that not step number 5? Not necessarily. So, with this, I want to apply for call for artists. Like I said, reach out to local cafes or offices, see if they're looking for artists. Just being more outspoken and present, not being shy, as shy as I really probably want to be, and the shell that I like to close myself in sometimes. The exposure is the intentional part of being outside of myself. So, applying for those things, applying for art fairs, going to vendor fairs, challenging the need and necessity to stay to myself and close off, and networking, right, with other artists in that way. So, that's step number 6. Now, let's talk about timeline. Ideally, I would get this website launched between June 17th and July 17th. The most ideal is June 17th. That's my birthday. And I think that would be a lovely birthday gift to myself to have updated this website, created the vision I want to see, and launching it with new products and new prints. The old prints that I have, I'm still going to keep them, of course, for fairs or giveaways that I want to do in the future. I may still offer them on the website. I have to see, but I think that would be a great timeline to kind of push. There is a sense of urgency with this. I'm the kind of person that if I don't go forward, I'm not going to do it. And I need to go forward the things that I care about. As much effort as I put into things that are not my passion, I need to put that amount of effort in things that I want to do and that I love. So that'll be my goal, timeline wise, to get my new website launched between June 17th and July 17th, ideally the June date. So keep a lookout on that when products are beginning to be listed, and you'll know when it's coming. So that's my timeline. Lastly, accountability. Who's gonna make sure that Brianna's doing what she's supposed to do? That would be me. So I have a art studio tracker. I keep like a analog version, but I'll put up here. So essentially, I track the month. So it'll be like April studio log, and it'll be the date. It'll be the project or study that I'm working on, how long I spent on it, and is it completed. The completed part is more so for projects, commissions, etc. I thought about adding like a timestamp in there, like I started at 10:08 and I ended at 12:30 or what have you. But I've usually just been looking at the time. My clock is right here, and I just write down how long I spent on the task. So that keeps me accountable, because if I see that I'm not growing, my skills aren't developing, my projects are never finished, etc., I can be able to look at my log and say, well, you didn't even put in 8 hours this week. You didn't even do your bare minimum. So it forces me to look at myself and what I'm doing, and then it forces me to look at the product. And the products aren't showing the results I want to see. I know it's me, and I know what I need to work on. So that's the first thing. The second part of accountability is networking. So I am in connection right now to, and I have an art mentor, which I'm super excited about. He's very prestigious. He's well known, and I'm excited to have his guidance as I need it. And I think it's important to have someone who has that foot or feet, their feet is in that world, to give you insight on how you can better yourself, not for them, right, but for you as an individual, as an artist, and to really emphasize finding your voice. So I'm super excited about that. And I also have I call him my art bestie, but shout out to you, Leo. But having someone who I can talk art with is important to me, especially someone who is on a similar journey and who has had similar experiences to me. We have monthly art check ins, and that keeps me accountable because we report back the things that we were able to do, the things that were setbacks or barriers, how we can push through those things to get to our goals. And it's so important to have people like that in your life. Of course, I have other art friends who are a little bit more long distance and we don't talk as frequently, but they're there. And I really want to work on building my community up here since this is a fairly new area that I'm in. So that's how I'm looking to be accountable. So, in conclusion, doing this in itself is its own reward. I owe it to myself to put in the work and put in the effort for this thing that I say I care about, and I greatly, greatly do. So join me on my journey. If you're an artist watching this or a creative in any type of way, I hope that this inspires you. If you're on the same journey, if you've already made it, right? If you have words of encouragement, please share. I'm sure someone could benefit from it, especially me as well, who I'm restarting in my journey. And the only way that we fail is if we don't try. So join me next week. I can't wait for you guys to see what I have to offer in the future. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye.